Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for coming in today. My name is Ana Rojas, as Lauren Janadis just said, and I'm the Conservation and Research Specialist at Deering Estate. And we are located right on Biscayne Bay if you've never visited us. But really, I want to talk to you a little bit about our cultural and ecological field station. Biscayne Bay restoration is often discussed at very large regional scales, but conservation also happens locally through people's direct relationship with coastal ecosystems, right? So Deering Estate is a historical landmark, a public park, an eel preserve, which we are very proud of, and a cultural and ecological field station with a total of 460 acres. We are also part of the conservation unit of Miami-Dade County Parks. So as most of us know, that there is a huge importance of green spaces for the well-being of our communities, right? And so at Deering Estate, we have been exploring how urban coastal parks can function as hubs for research, stewardship, public participation in conservation. So what is a field station? A field station is our living outdoor laboratories where researchers and students can directly interact with the environment and create new research for conservation. However, Deering Estate, we consider ourselves an urban field station. And this is especially important because we are really trying to connect scientific research with the surrounding community. So what makes an urban field station different? So Deering Estate became a cultural and ecological field station on January 1st, 2015, and that is because we provide public access to the Biscayne Bay coastal wetlands restoration. You may have heard Bram Chakran from South Florida Water Management District mention this. We are right on the Biscayne Bay shoreline. We're in an urban setting in Palmetto Bay, and we have a really extensive research consortium with internal and external partners, including with the Deering Estate Foundation, including Florida International University, SEAS, Florida DEP, the University of Miami, and Miami-Dade College. So here I just want to show you our field station campus. As you can see, we are a pretty big piece of land, and there are some parcels that are split, but that demonstration wetland, that is our pump station, the S700, that you can actually visit. It is open sunrise to sundown through a public access walking gate, and there is also a mitigation area of an upland habitat. Down here, you may notice a little house. This is our Weeks property that is gonna be the lodging for our field station where visiting researchers, artists, dignitaries can come and stay. So, as I mentioned everything about the field station, this is really what we're excited about. But research requires public investment, and this is especially true for us. Urban field stations need volunteers, partnerships, internships, advocacy, public participation, visibility, and community buy-in. And so one of the ways that my team in conservation has been working on that is by expanding our research capabilities and including the public into our research. The first example I want to talk to you about, and you may have seen this picture of this little guy in Brahm's presentation, is the diamondback terrapins. So we are expanding wildlife research in our urban coastal parks. We hold one of the few active FWC permits for understanding the population, the habitat use of Biscayne Bay's understudied estuarine turtle, which is the diamondback terrapin. And so since we are located in the Biscayne Bay coastal wetlands restoration, it really provides important terrapin habitat. We are looking currently at a baseline population, and then we are expanding it to potentially look at satellite telemetry so that we can actually track these terrapins' movements. And I am doing this with several interns, so I'm actively including the public and interested budding emerging scientists into this research. Another fantastic project, and she just presented in the Manatee Room, I believe, is our blue carbon work. So a graduate student, Yvonne Batan, who you see here, she's a University of Miami master's student. She looked at our carbon pools, comparing restored and natural mangrove ecosystems along Biscayne Bay at Deering Estate. And so this is really the partnership between University of Miami and Florida International University to understand carbon pools. So these findings are helping us understand how coastal wetlands contribute to climate resilience, habitat stability, and long-term ecosystem health in Biscayne Bay. This project really demonstrates how urban parks can support emerging scientists while increasing Biscayne Bay research capacity, and then also that active academic partnerships really push this along. So we are showing that, yes, it is important to have these scientists everywhere, correct? But in parks, it's really important because then we can translate this science to the everyday public. The last project I want to talk to you about is Aqua Watch at Deering. This is my personal, I guess, baby. This is funded through a grant, and it's a community science initiative installed along a pedestrian trail at Deering Estate to allow people to understand water monitoring levels along the greater Everglades Biscayne Bay watershed, specifically at the BBCW Phase 1 Deering Estate component. And so participants, pedestrians, anybody going on a little walk or hike can contribute by scanning the QR code on our sign and submitting water levels and photos, obviously, so that later on our team can QA/QC it. So long-term monitoring helps document impacts from king tide storms and seasonal hydrologic changes. So we're really excited about this. It was installed like a few weeks ago, so please go check it out. It is on the Chinese Bridge Trail, or what is known as 72nd Avenue. And this really builds public awareness of coastal resilience. Aqua Watch really transforms residents from observers into participants in Biscayne Bay stewardship. Here are our impact numbers for Miami-Dade County Parks, and it is pretty impressive what we are doing in parks. If you didn't know, we are actually the third largest county park system in the country. And so in fiscal year 24-25, we had close to 3,000 volunteers engaged, 17,000 hours contributed by them at a value of almost $500,000, or over $500,000. So it's pretty impressive. And then we also provided a lot of nature-based educational programs with around close to 37,000 participants. And so that's last fiscal year, but here you can see the current fiscal year and how it is increasing. And we are we are definitely gonna surpass that this year. So it's pretty exciting. So, stewardship and learning outcomes. I talked about the research. You saw the impact numbers. But really, we really want you all to understand that immersive experiences build long-term conservation advocates, okay? At Deering Estate, we pride ourselves in our coastal cleanups, our experiential field trips, which you can see here. It's called Catching Critters. The critters are released back into the seagrass beds near Deering Estate, don't worry. And we have also co-developed a marine conservation science and policy curriculum between several universities and agencies, which we are implementing across our coastal parks. So Really, what I'm trying to show you is that urban field stations help inspire future scientists, environmental leaders, and Biscayne Bay stewards through direct field experiences. In all, what can you take away from this? If you work in a coastal park or you love visiting a coastal park, what are some of the research and discovery themes that you can advocate for in those parks, right? These urban green spaces, conservation biology, restoration ecology, coastal wetland ecology, geology, geophysics, and paleoclimatology, and then even informal and formal science education research and sociocultural studies. Scaling urban coastal field stations. As you have seen, if parks receive research investment, partnerships, public support, volunteer infrastructure, they can become resilience education centers, biodiversity monitoring sites, research hubs, and even workforce pipelines. Something that I didn't mention, we are more likely to hire our interns and volunteers than anyone else because we really see their growth when they work with us. That's basically it. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.